It is March 13th, 2022. I've got this as my whatever. Lewis just invited me in to watch something that he discovered in his disgustingness. I have discoloring. I put iodine on, hoping to heal whatever's going on. This radiological nightmare. Anyway, he invited me in to see this movie, this concept on moving pictures. I am so violated and violently revolted. I had to get up and move myself I had to vacate the vicinity that they're congregating in. It's called Upload, UPLOAD. I'm within this flag region while watching it, but it has significance in the sense that the opening scene says Nora and Anthony. That goes with a catalog number of 1975 and 1978 in its tie-in. One, the back-end programmers are all non-familial, and what arrives, and it takes place in this place called Mohonk, Mohonk, which is in the Catskills. Yeah, Catwoman, Catskills, yeah. In the Appalachian Mountains, for the AD crew. The hotel looks so pristine and beautiful as usual. I haven't been since I was a teenager, I think, or like just right before Ben was born. But the fact that you could have a corrupted memory, like you can't remember the sequencing of certain things, that's a real life concern that I've actually experienced in this disgusting arrangement with humans that I can't figure out. But in the movie, they have all of these different they're not genetically secure. I mean, it's a white man, looks something like a kind of sort of, but not even close to whatever. But his piece of hair goes up. The personality reminds me of Benjamin, my son, with a piece of hair being out of place and not being able to fix it. I get that. But what really irks me is this somebody else programmed an afterlife that is riddled with imperfections and in non-pleasant things. There's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of imperfections. And then the programmers or the coders expect the actuaries and the genetically secure to live in this imperfection. Oh my God. It is, I couldn't sit there anymore. I'm like, I've dealt with this for 43 years in this disgusting New York. To go on and have to watch it in a movie format. So there are people who know just how disgusting New York is. Like, that's the heavenly side of New York, up in the Catskills, Adirondack. But again, that's upstate. UPSTATE. I live in the cesspool, like, region, which is New York City. Completely different biohazard within itself. Cataclysmically so. Atrocity, I heard. I heard Biden's imperfection that he's surrounded with at the moment, calling it an atrocity. I'm like, yeah, your appearance in his White House administration sure is. But here we are. So now, let's think about this. So in this afterlife programming, there's a lot of glitches, there's a lot of imperfections, and then there's this light mocha and dark mocha planning the imperfections into the genetically secure white guy's afterlife. That's exactly what my life frame feels like, because nothing has worked in the favor of what I needed in this New York and this US and this us. And then there's something about a data torrent. Not quite sure what that has to relate to, because again, it's not my field of whatever. But he enters this afterlife, which is riddled, riddled, with imperfections. And then it's like everything he needs or wants, he has to rely on some genetically insecure other who built the imperfect space that he's trapped in. I don't see where avatar security or genetic security is actually being thought of. I see a lot of self-serving shitbags getting coding and writing themselves new apparitions in imperfected ways that are not perfect. And it is an absolute disgusting habit that now all of a sudden the totally spoiled and obnoxious are like floating in this nouveau riche. This I effing hate this level of technology, because it interferes with radio frequency, the actual ability to stay healthy and live. And one of the first scenes, it also shows some fat whatever woman, unsecured genetic, non-familial, and she's heavy, and she's passing through the afterlife, and like it's just back to the health matrix. You could take my weight back down to where I was built, but instead I'm trapped in some kind of fat suit with radio technology and some kind of electromagnetic static microwave that literally makes me look like a piece of popcorn in a microwave. This is not I mean, like, again, and even those words, diet, nutrition, en français and in les États-Unis, it just gets too confusing to speak to the dumb, fucking useless Americans that I'm stuck amongst at the moment, being Linda and Lou. I can't even sit there, and as the visual disintegrity hits my eyes of like completely like worst nightmare possible, like I'm stuck in some horror movie because I know it mirrors real life, and I'm like trying to voice my upset, they're shutting me down, telling me all of this other stuff, and I'm like, I really wish you would all fucking die and we never meet again, because this was the worst life frame with two of you in it, you dumb, useless genetics. I mean, talk about growing the world worse while I was like held in captivity. These are not parental units I ever want to be recycled in a possibility of anything genetically or tethered to, ever. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, it's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. Their script, their life script, whatever they received from the antenna that sends them signals, is totally off. It's like they're purposely programmed to say everything they shouldn't, to corrupt the inner sanctum of where I'm trapped. It's been that way since I was a kid, and it's horrible. It's March 13th, 2022.